Who is your ideal customer? This is often the question that should be the kickoff of any marketing or sales initiative. The reason why it's important is because if you don't ask yourself that question, you might be fishing in the wrong pond. You might be looking in the wrong place to find your desired clients. Or you might be in the right place, but you could be using the wrong bait. For instance, if you're aiming for a high end market, you're that wedding photographer or that wedding planner who wants to start charging in the millions, then you shouldn't be where regular people are. You should only be where high end people hang out, either physically or either online. But perhaps the main benefit of asking the question is this: it also determines who you should invest your time with. The example that I gave in one of my in person sessions was to tell the class that it probably isn't a good idea to try selling unkwabi to sushi bougie type aficionados. So if you have someone who is aiming for that cultured, uber sophisticated, cosmopolitan lifestyle, those Niger people who only eat sushi, it might not be a good idea to try to sell them in Kwabi, and probably the other way around. If someone is an Nkwabi person and he's a salt of the earth, really down to earth kind of person or girl, then she might not appreciate that you're trying to sell raw fish to her or to him and at extremely marked up prices. So, in many ways, this should be the question where you begin your sales and marketing journey. So, always start out by asking yourself, who is your ideal customer? Some people are going to come up with real fancy suggestions, like you should sit down and have a brainstorming session with your stakeholders or with your employees, your loved ones, maybe your family members, and then have a brainstorming session. And then you come up with a customer avatar and you say, my ideal bride is someone who is currently in Harvard Law and she's getting married in Niger and they want to have 3 kids and blah de blah and all those kind of arbitrary stuff that I hear people say every now and then. But in my own opinion, I think that the destination isn't fixed in stone, so your ideal customer could change over time, especially as you grow in competence in your business and as your aspirations increase. But in the meantime, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take a look at your records, have a look at your Instagram, or have a look at whatever it is that you use to track your customer interactions and see who are the people that I have already done business with in the first place. And then give those people a call. Say, Nkechi, thank you for booking me to be your wedding photographer or to be your wedding planner. Would you be okay with me asking you a few questions just so I could improve the business? And then you ask questions like, why did you pick me? Why didn't you go with so, 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 and so? If you knew who the competitors were in the run up, what was the deal breaker? What did you enjoy working about? What did you enjoy most about working with me? From asking those questions, you're going to get a clear sense of what it is that they valued about working with you. And from those answers, you'll be able to get a sense of who it is that you would love to serve the most. Because obviously, there's going to be some sort of tie-in between those customers who had a blast working with you, who you had lots of fun working with, and the level of, financial return that you got out of the situation. So from asking all those questions and having a look at your records, you're going to be able to figure out who your ideal customer is, at least for now. Like I said, it's not static, it's not fixed in stone. If you don't believe me, have a look at many of your tried and tested brands, your loved brands for all generations, and you'll find that their ideal customers changed and morphed over time. In the beginning, Coca-Cola was supposed to be some sort of a medicinal remedy. Initially it was supposed to be some sort of a medicinal remedy, but now it's a popular and widely used consumer brand consumer drink. So that is just one example about how a successful business for several decades, whose picture of the ideal customer has morphed. And it's also the same when you look at in the mobile technology space. In the beginning, the ideal customer of techno phones in Nigeria and in Asia wasn't who it is today. Obviously, you can see that the ideal customer that they are targeting is moving slightly more upscale, and the techno is no longer the poor man's iPhone per se. So, I'll bring it to a close here on this particular episode. Just remember, if you're thinking of improving your sales and putting some vigor behind your marketing, you have to start by asking the question, who is your ideal customer? Be sure you are fishing in the right pond. Be sure you're in the right place. Be sure you're using the right bait. And don't try selling your product or your service to people that are not suited to what it is that you are aiming at. How can you find your ideal customer? Look at your records, if you keep records, or look at your Instagram. Reach out to people that you've worked with before. Ask them a couple of questions. That will help you figure out who your ideal customer is. And I think that's going to be a lot better than sitting down and coming up with arbitrary things about customer avatars and all that other stuff that people talk about. So thank you very much for listening to the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. I'm your host, Abuja-based event and wedding photographer, Tavishima Ayede. I will catch you guys at the next recording.